Well, stimulus negotiations are continuing between Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and House Speaker Pelosi as they work to get a deal done before the election. I want to bring in Aquiles Larrea, founder of Larrea Wealth Management, to discuss the latest progress on those talks. Hi, Aquiles. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Greta. I appreciate it.
Investors are still holding out hope for a possible stimulus deal before Election Day. That's waning. Saw the market close lower today because of that. How important is it to pass relief for the economy to recover?
Well, it's very important. First, from the sense that if this agreement doesn't happen, first, you're going to be looking at bankruptcies. You're going to be looking at foreclosures. You're going to be looking at larger debt looming, not only for individuals, but for city and states. So it's in the best interest that this stimulus accord happen. However, the Speaker Pelosi really has no incentive at this particular point to go after this agreement. And we could see this deal not happening before the election.
A third quarter earnings season is well underway. Results from tech companies started on Tuesday with Netflix. What are you expecting to see from the tech sector in these reports?
We're expecting better than expected earnings. However, we have seen in the case of Netflix, earnings drive markets. And when you don't come out with good earnings, your stock is going to get hammered. And inversely, if you look at companies like Texas Instruments, the stock beat earnings, and investors alike rewarded that company for beating the earnings. So not all companies are made alike.
Tomorrow morning, the focus will be on some key airlines releasing their earnings. We have American on deck, Southwest on deck. What are you expecting to see from them? More about their future expectations as they try to work through the challenges of this pandemic.
I see lower guidance. We're going to see, of course, they're not going to have the same earnings that versus a year ago, but I see lower guidance. I also see the fact that the industry as a whole is only now starting to come back. So it could be a couple of quarters before we start seeing that move towards the upside and them coming back to the reality that is what the pre-pandemic earnings that they had before.
The government is set to be releasing the third quarter GDP estimate next Thursday. What are you expecting to see from that report?
Well, the talk is that the GDP is going to come in at around 2.7. I would say probably about 2.7, 2.8. And this is due to the increased weakness in the commercial real estate and along with some productivity issues that are occurring with industrial. But I want you to think of something. October 29th, we're going to have newer numbers coming in. And so this number that comes out now is not necessarily reflected of the true numbers that are happening. And we won't know that until October 29th.
All right, Aquiles Larrea, the founder of Larrea Wealth Management, joining us to discuss the latest stimulus efforts, earnings, and the upcoming GDP report. And thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.